So I wanted to talk about something a little bit more interesting, and this is something that I've seen in my comment section about the whole idea of Steam and Itch suing Visa and Mastercard. And I've stated my opinions on things, but I want to kind of go into a little bit more details of where there is struggles for them to sue, but where there is a possibility of maybe that there could be some legalities there. I may ask some experts. I've got a couple contacts that I can ask, like Legal Mindset, and I might ask him in the DMs after this video and maybe do a follow-up video of what the legalities are on that component. But I kind of wanted to spitball my own personal opinion. But of course, before I get into the video, I'm doing this more now because of how things have changed. If you can consider hitting a like, leaving a comment, saying anything. I joked in the other video saying, call me ugly, I don't care. Do it. I don't care. Any comment, any like will help because of how there is so much suppression now going on these particular topics. I do think certain specific words are flagging the system. And I can imagine that it's specific words like maybe like Visa, Mastercard, Steam, Itch, censorship, UK, potentially those words might be flagging it. I will try to play around with titles. I'll try and pick and choose certain titles and isolate them and see if there's any situations where certain videos don't get as suppressed as much. But it is one of those where it's like, it's going to be an uphill battle because I do think YouTube is trying to keep some topics quiet, which, as I've stated in my other video, is a little bit hypocritical because they were the ones emailing people about, oh no, we don't want to lose our free speech, fight for free speech, and then they do the very same things. And I know some people say, oh, well, they're never on your side. I know that. I know they're not on our side. But it is, again, hypocritical for them to preach such in high voice and emailing everyone to fight for their rights and blah, blah, oh, you're a content creator, but then they themselves don't care to protect actual content creators' rights. Like I said, it's just rich coming from them. But I wanted to talk about the first thing, of course, is Valve responding to Mastercard's claims they did not pressure any. This is the thing. Visa and Mastercard are going to be talking out of their bollocks because right now what they want to do is they want to quell the dissent, because I've been told from multiple sources that the more people that ring Visa and Mastercard and leave complaints and leave tickets and then follow up on them, it costs them more and more and more and more money. So that's why they're starting to panic. It's not because they really don't care. And that's why they tell you to email, because if they email, they will probably just censor certain words and filter through all the rest. They'll probably just go at the end of their go, delete everything with these specific key phrases in. Like the words Steam and Itch, just to auto-delete. They don't care. That's why ringing them and annoying them has been so effective, because they are losing money. I've seen people say, oh no, it's just annoying them, they won't do anything. No, it is annoying them because financially it is impeding on them. And they might have a really big, deep coffer, but shareholders aren't going to be happy if they're losing any amount of money because of this dissent. And shareholders are more likely to say, you know what, just give them what they want. Stop this. We don't want to lose more money. So there's that possibility. And apparently the share prices for both Visa and Mastercard have gone down. But the other thing though too, and this is something I said in a previous video, is that suing Visa and Mastercard is an uphill battle, because they have a lot of money, they have a lot of influence, and from Visa and Mastercard's standpoint, they are allowed to deny access to anything they deem damaging to their brand. And that's kind of why there's this argument going on. And I've stated in my videos that I do believe if Steam and Itch were to try and sue them, they would lose that front because of that situation. Because I've seen some people say, oh, just sue them, just sue them. That would be a legal battle. That would be an uphill battle that I think Steam and Itch would lose. But there is another thing to account into this. Visa and Mastercard trying to play... Mastercard with their particular tweet, not saying Visa so much, but Visa definitely a sort of nudge trying to move things in certain directions, at least from how we're perceiving it. But Mastercard, when they came out with their whole, oh no, we don't do this, we don't do that, and Visa have made replied to certain emails saying similar things based on what other people have claimed. But with Mastercard and Visa trying to offset some of the blame to the streaming platforms, there is the possibility that Steam and Itch could try and sue them for lying. There is that possibility that Steam and Itch could then go for them for lying and misrepresenting the whole situation, and Visa and Mastercard being accused of deceiving and lying to damage Steam and Itch's image. It's technically kind of almost like a bit like defamation, or at least it could be seen as. That's why I wanted to ask someone about it, because I'm like, what is the legalities there? Because Visa and Mastercard can argue, oh well, it's our payment systems, we can deny whatever we want, but then for them to come out, Mastercard in particularly, with their tweet saying, oh no, we don't do this was all on others. And then the other parties, all parties, including Collective Shower, saying, no, Visa and MasterCard were the ones that bent the knee and stopped these payment systems. Then there's this whole legality going on of, like, well, could Steam and Itch sue them for lying? That's a possibility. That would give them a little bit more leg to stand on. But the other issue, though, too, is if they decide to do that, Visa and MasterCard could turn around and say, well, you know what? You can't use our platforms, period. And just completely block it out of pure spite to stop them from making any money. And that's the other thing, where people saying, oh, well, they should just sue them because of not allowing them to use the platform completely. And it's like, well, here's the issue. They will just deny it, and then Steam and Itch will just lose more money. And because of the amount of money that goes through those platforms, it would hurt them. This is why the best move for Steam and Itch is to play ball and then find other methods. And as many people have stated, and I've stated this, even if Elon makes his own X payment system, it's going through Visa based on Jenny Rowe's announcement. I've seen people try to say, oh no, it won't now. But again, unless Elon actually comes out and says, no, we're going to make our own system, I'm not going to assume anything. Because, again, Elon might be talking a big game on the internet saying, you know, certain countries in the European Union should break out of the European Union and all that, or European, yeah. Elon actually backing up with his own payment system, well, that's a whole different thing. And even then, it would still be an uphill battle for them to make the infrastructure, get the regulations sorted out, get all the stuff sorted out so that they can do that. That would still take a long time. So it's not like that problem would be solved overnight. It doesn't mean that we can't hope for an alternative like that, but we need to look at other ideas than just putting all our eggs in one basket, because I don't think one solution is going to fix this. This is why we need to attack at every different avenue to try and solve these problems. Like I said, complaining to Visa and MasterCard's text or support, because it's going to continue to annoy them, it's going to continue hitting their pocket. Then if there are alternatives, we need as many as we can get, break up this monopoly, maybe hope that the governments might put in some regulation to force this. But there's also this whole issue of governments putting in regulation that goes counterproductive to what we want. So it's a constant uphill battle, and then trying to get rid of the Collective Shout group and trying to expose them for the hypocrisies. But they're threatening to sue people. Not that I think they will, but it's like there's all these different battlefronts going on. It's not like a 1v1 kind of thing. There are multiple issues that we're tackling, multiple different angles that they're attacking at. And so it's a continuous, endless battle. So I don't think this is going to be clear, cut and dry as people think it will be. And I mean, this whole situation here with VPNs, and then finding out the British MPs actually using VPNs themselves, which demonstrates that and here's the thing, you can ban VPNs all you want, which is ironic, because I'll be honest here, I don't think they probably will ban VPNs, at least until the government themselves have their own VPN. Because here's the thing, you can ban VPNs and you can make your own. You can. But the thing is, even if you ban VPNs, there is just going to be groups out there that will find other ways of building VPNs and building the infrastructure and potentially giving them out for free. And you'd say, well, wouldn't that, and like, trust me, you can do it through other alternative systems, like, oh, buy this service and get this free kind of thing. And then they'd have to ban other alternatives. It is going to be an uphill battle. And VPNs aren't bulletproof either, but it will become a bigger and bigger pain in the tush for the UK government. It's also good because I've heard as well that the people there are starting to wake up and really starting to like clamp down on this issue. I am going to say it will be an interesting thing to see how this all plays out from the UK's perspective. Like, will they be able to find a new elective government that will then do what they want? How is this all going to play out? Or is this going to turn into complete like anarchy? I don't know. I just hope things go for the better. rather than going for the worst. But I can tell you right now, the government will not want to give up control, especially with the powers to be that are trying to sort of puppet and control all this. And it sounds like conspiracy theory rubbish, but now it's kind of feels weird and liberating to be able to say all the conspiracy theories from 5 years ago and say, yeah, this is what's happening. And then everyone going, yep, there is a shadowy organization out there trying to... Jesus Christ, I sound like him. the rogue returned. That guy, I forget what his name is now. But it's just one of those where it's just kind of funny where the conspiracy theories are becoming reality. You've got all these government entities that are trying to be like, oh yes, let's clamp down on... And the simple reason why is because the internet is such a free and open source. Because ideas can be spread so easily and information can be spread so easily. And yes, there is a lot of misinformation out there. Absolutely. But I would prefer this than being told, oh no, let's not use the internet, or if the internet's been finally controlled by the government, what is and is not allowed, then it's just like, okay, you just go back to the TV. And it's just controlled programs, controlled what's been said, controlled celebrities. Everything is just like propped up by certain individuals. I mean, there's already celebrities being paid to propagate all this rubbish. And then you have people in the comment section that are either completely ill-informed or are paid shields or bots that are defending this going, you're just a P word. And it's like, this has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do with freedom. And the fact that they're using children as a scapegoat to try and justify complete control over speech in general. Because once they're done with one group, they go to the next, the next, the next. It's like the Collective Shark group. They were going after certain things, but there's tweets coming out from like years ago saying that they were just going after games in general. Like they just hated gamers. Like gamers, period. It's like, remember, if you're old enough to remember, and this goes back heaps long ago, it was like music was like the devil's work. Like certain music types were like evil, and it goes way back. Like it's been now 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, even beyond that, where certain like music artists will come out and they'll make songs that are a little bit controversial, a little bit on the edge, and they're like, we must ban music, we can only allow certain types of music. I get that there is criticism for some stuff that seems a little bit crazy for kids, but again, there are far more effective ways of protecting children, as I've stated, than what's going on here. And this is not about protecting children, this is about control. And the proof of it is in the UK. It's a great example to watch what's happening, where they're like, oh yes, we're doing it to protect the kids. By the way, we're now censoring anything that doesn't go aligned to what the government wants to hear. Criticize the government? Knock, knock, knock. And just to be very clear, I am in no way having any negative thoughts. I am not in any mindset of doing any things to myself that could impede on potentially my character having to go poof poof or bye bye or anything like that. I am perfectly sound in mind and body. Just want to point that out. Okay, for obvious reasons. But again, remember, hit the like, leave a comment, say anything except anything that would get you banned. Say you like boobers. I don't know. That'll probably get you shadow banned. I don't know. Say you like... who's your favourite waifu? There you go. Say who's your favourite waifu. Remember to leave a like. And if you haven't, subscribe. Consider subscribing. I'm an angry Aussie. You know how dangerous it is in this time and age for an angry Aussie to have his opinion? Yeah, exactly. I'm risking it all. So, I'm not asking for financial support in that end, but just consider leaving a like and a nice comment. So, or an angry comment. Either one works. If you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you beautiful nerds in the next video.